top six.
What about Leao?
Leao is one of the more frustrating players. His ability, he's the best player in the squad. There's no doubt about it. But there's sometimes that you wish he had this champion mentality of always wanting to perform and doing it consistently, right? And that's the frustration with him. He has the ability. He's got it all. Especially in space, there's very few players in the world that could catch him with space. And then they have Pulisic, who's putting in one of the best performances. They got Reinders, who's one of the best midfielders in the Serie A. Things are coming together for them.
Taking a look at the top half of the Serie A standings right now, and it is tight, to say the least. Only 2 points separating the team in first. That's Napoli. And the team that's in sixth, that's Juventus. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So let's take a look at the Opta probability percentages of winning the title as it is today. So right now,
And you guys laughed at me for Atalanta.
Inter Milan have the biggest chance at finishing top of the table, followed by Atalanta, Juventus, 7%, Lazio, Napoli, Fiorentina, and AC Milan.
Computers play football.
Let's see his table first before you start.
I don't know how Milan is below Fiorentina.
I don't either. Nico, you're going to kick us off and give us your predictions
Okay.
for the top six and how it's going to look.
Here's my table. I have a couple of teams dropping off. And for the long-term plan, I think Inter is on the right track, and I have faith in what they're doing, and they have an identity, and they're only getting better. I think to win a league, you need to go from least to greatest, and that's what Inter is doing at the moment.
Where's Milan?
Milan's dropped off. There's too many problems.
Out of the
Milan.
top six?
Yeah, this is a surprise.
What, are they going to play Conference League?
This is a surprise. I don't know. I don't long term. Are you convinced by Milan? They're
convinced that they're going to be in the top six.
Jack in the box. It's like you don't know what you're going to get.
Wildly inconsistent.
So here's my issue. Napoli, I think this is going to be tight, but Napoli's going to drop off a little bit. I think that can be suddenly like very explosive at any given moment. I respect what Atalanta's doing. I'm putting them in a Champions League finish. I think that's pretty good for them from what we thought from the outset. What Fiorentina's doing is impressive. Obviously, Milan, you could argue here. Maybe I would switch even Lazio for Fiorentina. I like what Lazio's doing. I feel like
Lazio.
No one is talking about Lazio. They're so under the radar. And Tati's playing well. Boulaye is playing well. They have a really good balance of a team. So I just...
Tavares.
Yeah.
Tavares, really good. Who's going next?
I think I'm up. Am I up next? It's okay. It's mine. I just want everybody to know that I led with my heart here. This was just a very emotional selection for my top six because it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's impossible to predict. So I went, okay, where's our graphic? Hey, there we go. I went very, very, very emotional. Napoli, honestly, Marco, I have to give you all the credit because you're the first one that kind of got me on the Conte train and believing what he could do with this Napoli side, and the fact that they are currently sitting in first and have done really well. I know that they've had an easy-ish schedule to start, but I just believe. I don't know. I'm on the Napoli train, so I put them number one.
Well, now winning the title. When was Maradona's last Scudetto?
33 years ago was the last time they had won it, and then they won it 2 years ago.
So it's from going for no trophies for 33 years to 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
It's the CBS effect, maybe.
Be incredible.
Well, you got the rights.
It's a long way to go.
Inter Milan, I have finishing second because they're Inter Milan. I do think that their quality is immense. My father is the manager at Atalanta, and I am just obsessed with Gasperini, and I can't believe what he has done. What he does with so little is so remarkable.
I'm so proud of Susannah. I love this.
Underappreciated. So I have them actually finishing above Juventus. I'm sorry, but then they've got the injuries and all the things they're dealing with. Fiorentina has been sensational, and you bought me a beautiful Fiorentina kit, and I love Florence is my favorite city in Italy, so that's why
I didn't pay for it.
There's five.
Paladino's the manager.
Yeah, and he's doing incredible.
They've been fantastic.
How come what?
How come they're doing so well? Like
it's pretty crazy. They've taken all these misfit players, old players who weren't wanted. It's the truth. David De Gea was out of contract. No team had him. Moise Kean scored 0 goals last year. Juventus gave him away for 10 million. Adli, Cataldi, Bove, all players from the bigger teams. They're like, all right, let him go. And Palladino has put all of this together. They finally have a striker that's scoring goals. Moise Kean doing that says it all because they used to create opportunities. but then they would not finish them off. And defensively, they've been solid. De Gea
has been
MVP.
sensational for them.
And they have Goodmanson, who's a top-class player who's still injured for the next couple weeks. Once he comes back, Fiorentina are dangerous.
So, and I had
So
Milan.
you judged me. I felt super judged when you said no.
I'm just nicer to Susannah.
Look at this, 6th place. Is it far-fetched if it's not top 6?
Save yourself. Don't worry about it. Let's look at this one.
Nico.
Let's go. Don't worry, Nico. I'll
Go ahead. Let me see. I want to see.
Nigel.
All right, Nigel.
I'm going for the feel-good factor because there's just something in the air.
And you laughed at me!
Atalanta.
So by the way, yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
By the way, 3 different winners. You guys all said, oh, it's so competitive. 3 different winners, all 3 of you.
I laugh at you. Can I have my moment now?
Go.
You've had your moment. I know you're Italian. You like to talk like this.
Go.
Okay. I went with Atalanta for the winner. There's something good about this team. They've won the Europa League last year. They've achieved European success. I feel this is the year they can really push for a Serie A title. We talked about Lookman. For me, right now, my opinion, Lookman is the best player in Serie A right now. Retegui, yeah?
Bravo.
Retegui is on fire as well. Good squad.
Nico.
I like Napoli. I'm going with the experience of Conte. I feel that he'll keep them competitive throughout the season. Inter Milan, we know what they can do. They've got the best squad. I don't believe that they're playing like champions who want to win again. I still see a lack of hunger in this Inter Milan side. They still keep missing a lot of chances and opportunities in games that might come back to haunt them. Juventus, for me, solid staple diet. I see progression. Lazio and Fiorentina, the 2 surprise packages for me in Serie A. Free-flowing attacking football. Fiorentina.
Florentino Perez.
Fiorentina. But I'm going with a feel-good factor for Atlanta to be the surprise.
Their first Serie A title ever.
I love that. I would love that.
Can you
a team that was bouncing between Serie A and Serie B for most of its career. 2016, Gasperini went in. Your father went in there, whipped them into shape, and the guy's
Europa
been
League champions.
amazing. His shout out of Lookman is one of the best. I think that could have been a bro am I bugging. Is he one of the best players?
Yes, right now he's on fire. But 100%. I think as a team, they look so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They really look good.
Yeah.
Marco, you're up.
Yeah.
If you don't have Milan in your top 6, you better.
Of course I do.
Oh, geez.
I think a prisoner of the moment a little bit. I got Milan. I think they'll ride the ship out. They'll end up in a Champions League spot. Because they will. They have the quality. The quality in the team is crazy. It's just defensively, they haven't been organized.
Did you see them against Monza?
Did you see them against Real Madrid?
That's Champions League.
Monza and Cagliari are tougher than Real Madrid.
He knows it.
Okay, relax. This is what I want to focus on. My boys, Napoli. This is my heart, too. This is my heart pick. They finished 10th place last year. They were down in the dumps. Antonio Conte has come in. They haven't been playing great football. They really haven't, but they've been grinding out wins. They got a tie against Inter. They're focused more on let's not lose. When they went away to Juventus, away to Milan, which they won, and then away to Inter, they said, hey, we got 5 points in 9 games away from home. We are going to make up in the smaller games against Monza, against Cagliari. We're not going to slip up. And I really hope that Conte could bring this back because there's no place in Italy like Napoli. Nigel said it best. Inter is the best team in Serie A, but they look a little bit full. It's like their stomachs, they won already. We want to go far in Champions League, so I'm going with that. Juventus, I don't see them cracking the top 2. I'm pretty certain on Napoli and Inter, it might be reversed. Juventus, top 3. It's still year 1 of Thiago Motta's team, and we have so many injuries. So I'm going with that. Milan, I think you guys are underrating the quality of their attack. They have so many players that could get there.
Unbelievable.
If, worst case scenario, they're finishing 5th place.
Yeah.
Fiorentina, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but there was also last year, Fiorentina, they were talking about them getting to Champions League. January, they were 4th place, and everyone gets excited. And Florence, oh my God. You give them a little bit, and they go crazy. But they're overachieving a little bit right now.
You don't think it's sustainable what they're doing right now?
No. Maybe 6th place. You want to argue Lazio and Fiorentina? I'm good to argue. This, I would be very surprised if anyone finishes in that top 5.
So you're bullish on the fact that Milan are going to finish top 6. You have them finishing 4th. What do they need to do at this point?
It's so crazy to me how naive they were in the summer, where we covered the league for 12 months. Defensively, they had 10 teams that were better than Milan in Serie A. 10 teams. And what did they do? They got Emerson Royal. And
the guy from
Pavlovic. And we could roll in the graphic that we have here on some of their numbers. Defensive issues, 5 different center back pairings. Obviously, injuries have played a tackle. And the second fewest per game in Serie A in terms of tackle per match. It's all about defensively. I think if they can figure out a way to just be solid in the back, It's almost a team that's built to
Yeah,
counter.
that's easier said than done. Look at the process that Conte has done to make this team, to make Napoli very sustainable.
That's usually what a coach does first.
Defense
is
wins
make you solid in the back. When they go forward,
so many questions about Milan at the moment that I don't know if I'm getting those
You don't have to
answers.
ask the question. Just tell them Milan defensively are shambolic.
that's why they're not going to win the Scudetto. Of course. That's why they're not going to compete. No, they're going to finish top six.
What about Leao?
Leao is one of the more frustrating players. His ability, he's the best player in the squad. There's no doubt about it. But there's sometimes that you wish he had this champion mentality of always wanting to perform and doing it consistently, right? And that's the frustration with him. He has the ability. He's got it all. Especially in space, there's very few players in the world that could catch him with space. And then they have Pulisic, who's putting in one of the best performances. They got Reinders, who's one of the best midfielders in the Serie A. Things are coming together for them, especially in attack. I just want them to sit back a little bit, be a little bit more contained, hit out on the counter. They'll finish top 4.
It's more difficult
Top
to play
4.
against Monza than it is to play against Real Madrid.
There you
That's
go.
what Fonseca said.
Yeah.
Professional Serie A coach, not
the
me.
eye test tells me that as well.
Yeah, but it's not the most competitive league.